everyone, and welcome back for another episode of the Cutting Room 101. And this week's topic was chosen by Sean Webcom Official, and we're going to be talking about our biggest guilty pleasure movie. Now, there's this awesome movie from the 80s called The Wizard, and it's one of my favorite movies of all time, but it's also regarded as one of the worst movies of all time. I don't know if too many people have seen or heard of it, but basically it sets the record for the most product placement in a movie. Not officially, but I think it should because there is so much. I mean, the entire movie is a commercial for Nintendo. If you don't know what The Wizard is, basically it's these three kids and they're trying to rush out to California to enter in this video game competition because the main kid's younger brother is a video game prodigy and they're trying to get him in this competition so they can win a ton of cash. Now that's the main gist of it, but there's a lot more to the story that I'm not going to really go into. But the main whole focus of this movie is this video game competition. One reason I love this movie might be because I saw this as a kid, and at that time is when Nintendo was huge and I played Nintendo all the time. Nintendo is still my favorite video game system out of Xbox, out of PS3, out of all those systems. Nintendo to me is still the best because Mario is my favorite game, and just seeing all these video games being played in a movie, I thought that was so cool as a kid. And it's even cooler now because really the only Nintendo that you see is Nintendo Wii. You don't see original Nintendos in stores anymore, so seeing it on the screen now, it just brings back so much nostalgia for me. Now, it's a terrible movie. It's regarded as one of the worst movies of all time, but I just have so much fun with it. I love the soundtrack because I love 80s movies in general, and the soundtrack to this movie is so good. Also, it's filled with so many amazing lines. I'm gonna post a link in the description box below just so you can see one of these lines from this film because it's so epic, but it's so terrible. I don't know if anyone really remembers the Power Glove, but there's this one just epic scene where the bad kid puts on this glove and it's this power glove, and you could steer a video game with your wrist by holding your arm out. And he's steering this video game, and then when he beats the level, he turns around and he says, "I love the Power Glove. It's so bad." I'm gonna post that scene in the description box below. Check it out. It's one of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. But if you haven't seen the movie and you watch that scene, you're probably gonna wonder why I like this film, but you just have to see it because it's one of those movies where when you watch it, you either get it or you don't. It's either gonna just be fun or you're gonna think it's a terrible film. There's also another scene with product placement in it that features the Peekaboo Peepers. And if you don't know what those are or don't remember them, it's those glasses that you put on and it has the nose and the mustache. And there's literally no purpose for that to be in this movie. It is just a straight up commercial. He even looks at the back of the packaging and reads what you could wear them for. It's like ridiculous how much product placement is in this movie. But to me, it's just one of those movies that I watched as a kid and I just love it still today. Even the video game Armageddon takes place in Universal Studios, and this movie came out when Universal Studios was first being opened. So having that in this movie was a humongous advertisement for Universal Studios. Honestly, I can't even really explain why I love this movie so much. It's basically just because it was my childhood favorite film and I still love it today. I mean, I know that it's flawed, but I still just enjoy it so much. The score is really good as well. I mean, there's not much of a score, it's mainly a soundtrack, but there's this tune that they play every time this intense scene happens. I don't know if this is on Netflix or not, but if it is, I recommend just trying it out. I mean, it's a really fun movie. If you loved Nintendo as a kid, I think you're really going to enjoy this film because there's a lot to it. There's more to it than I'm making it sound like. Not like it's this epic film, but I mean, there's more subplots to it, and there's kind of an emotional storyline that you're either going to buy into or not. Of course, I bought into it as a kid, and since I did back then, I still kind of buy into it now. I mean, it's not like it's going to make me cry or anything, but you know, it's kind of heartfelt. The whole movie is just one of those fun movies. So sorry I can't really go into detail as to why I love this movie so much, but yeah, basically plain and simple, it was my childhood. So now let me know in the comments below what guilty pleasure movie you love or a favorite childhood movie that you still enjoy today. And be sure to subscribe to the Cutting Room 101 if you're not already, and also stay tuned tomorrow to hear from Anthony from The Random Mind on his biggest guilty pleasure movie. Take care.